Hello, everyone. My name is Edith, also known as Lady E, and welcome to the Lady E Effect podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, we interview purpose-driven professionals that do amazing contributions to people, businesses, and communities worldwide. If that's something that's interesting for you, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all social media platforms. So I know it's been a little while, but just very, very excited for today's guest. Thank you all so much for your support. Definitely tune in to our audio platforms. We have many, but Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Audible, just to name a few. But of course, we love our YouTube family to see face to face these wonderful professionals that do amazing work and really care about the contributions to improving our community. We like to also interview the best of the best, and today is nothing different from it. So, without taking any more time, thank you so much for joining us today. Please introduce yourself and let us know who you are.
First and foremost, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on this podcast and the Lady E Effect. I'm Isaiah Robinson, a financial advisor from uh, Off the Field Financial Services, and I also have a podcast show called Off the Field, where we interview athletes and entrepreneurs and really bridge the gap between sports and business. And we teach financial literacy and leadership.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, once again, thank you so much for joining us today. We're excited to speak with you. So, for those that know me, I like to get right into it. So, my first question for you today is, of course, we all come from humble beginnings. So, definitely share with the audience what led you to where you are now and how was your journey once you started?
I say God led to me where I am right now. I'm a former quarterback, won at every level from the college, high school, and little league level. Um, I was playing quarterback at Hampton University after transferring from University of Maine. And at Hampton, I got my first master's degree, and then COVID hit. And while COVID was happening, I'm studying my master's course. But I'm like, man, I'm home. I don't know what else to do. Like, I might as well start a podcast because I've seen the need from sports and business. And I got my first master's in sports management. So I was always on the business side of sports, but I just didn't know what I really wanted to do after the ball went flat for me. And I started off the field where I had a lot of known guests. Maybe some of you familiar with Caleb Williams, Kyrie Jackson, Lamont Roach, who's fighting Tank Davis this upcoming month, and many more guests. So make sure you guys tune in and check those out. But I started the platform because I seen the need for sports. And after usually athletes are done playing sports, it's such a downhill and they don't know what else to do after the career is playing. So I'm a big entrepreneur mindset, and I actually got my MBA at Savannah State. So that was my second master's degree. And while I was there, I ended up coaching for a semester. But I love coaching and I love giving back to players and just help the next generation. But that's when I started my financial services company. And now we're really big on helping athletes secure, manage their money, and protect their money all at the same time, and grow it at a fast rate. So a lot of times these are knowledges, this is knowledge that's the everyday person doesn't have. And I'm so big on athletes getting this knowledge because the statistics is 70% of athletes go broke after 4 years of their professional careers. So that number was alarming to me. And I'm like, man, they have millions of dollars. Like, why are they going broke? Why can they not contain the lifestyle that they're living while they're playing? And it's because they're not managing the money the right way and putting in the right financial vehicles. So now you got NILs going around. So now even the younger athletes, the college athletes are going to be affected by this. So making sure that their money is in a safe, protected place that they can really see return on. It's been a passion of mine.
Wow, that is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. You touched a lot of very key points. So that actually leads me into my next question. Definitely want to highlight finance. Finance is extremely important for every human being on this earth, especially when it comes from an athletic background that you specialize in from various ways. Definitely share more about the areas of practicing that you operate in regards to your business and finance. And also, if you can expand on why is that a key role in the sports industry?
Cool. So, a little bit about off the field financial services. We're a brokerage from many different firms like Northwestern, Mutual Omaha, Aflac. Some of you may know, some of you may not know, like Quantum, National Life Group, been around for 175 years. Then you got F&G. We partners with all these different companies. So we really have the best financial products for each individual because everybody is different. And like you said, everybody needs finances, not just athletes. So I'm really telling to anybody that needs help, I'm willing to help them. And I apologize. What was the second question?
You've been answering it, but definitely if you can expand more on why finance is such a key role in the sports industry.
Okay, cool. So finance is such a key role in the sports industry because athletes, you dedicated your whole life to just one sport, right? A lot of times athletes don't really get a chance to have a second job other than their sport. And that was me growing up. I ate, slept, breathed football. So I never had no time to really get my own money outside of sports. Now, when you got to college, you get stipends. Even in high school, all my high school tuition, everything's paid for, right? So I didn't really need to worry about money. So I never got the chance to really study money because it was never talked about in my household. It was never talked about around my peers, and it was never talked about in college. So now you're entering a space where you're getting millions of dollars and you never been educated properly on finances. And it's like, no wonder why it's only 70% go broke because it's conversations that's never been had with them. And now they're trusting somebody else with millions of dollars that they don't even know from a can of paint. Sometimes they get taken advantage of, and sometimes they may luck up and find the right person, like LeBron James. He had his best friend become his agent. But how many people are LeBron James? You know, there's only one of them. So he had a great friend to put in place, but it's like a rare occasion. So for the 99% that doesn't have LeBron James, like he came from high school, you know? So that's even a rare fact right there that it's not normal anymore and it's not even heard of anymore. So just really trying to get the message out to the masses how important financial literacy is.
Mm, well said. Thank you so much for touching bases on that. It is so important for everyday people, but absolutely athletes. I think us on the outside world get a little too caught up in the entertainment of sports and look at what they're doing on the field and wow, this is so exciting. But these are still human beings. There could be millions and billions and whatever type of um funds that they're exposed to, but money management, financial management, and financial literacy is definitely the foundation of learning how to acquire wealth, build wealth, and keep it, right? So it can at least expand into the next generation. So I love how you really specialize all the exposure in the areas of studying and practicing of really taking the business world and even having an athletic background yourself in the space of football and just really bridging them, right? Bridging them into a place where athletes are properly educated. They're learning how to be protected more and they, have better guidance when it comes to managing and operating in financial places. Because, like you said, everyone is not always going to be there with the pure intentions of supporting them financially. They might be leeches, they might be con men, it could be family members, it could be, people around their team or headquarters. So I think that's something that a lot of athletes, which we've heard horror stories, whether it's in the football industry, NFL or NBA or et cetera, where it's just unfortunate. We focus too much on the numbers of, oh, this person just got this X, Y, and Z contract, but what's going on behind the scenes and what's going on with their mental health, right? So, speaking of that, I want to shift a little bit, but definitely keep it where we are in the financial space.
And I
Oh,
want to touch on one thing before we shift gears, right?
sure.
Like you said an important thing. You said they're always showing us the entertainment side and they never showing us the finance side. But financial services has been in our face for as long as I can remember. And we just don't see it, right? You see Aflac all over the place. Even with the facilities like the Eagles play this games at Lincoln Financial, that's a financial company. Ravens, they play their games at M&T Bank, that's a financial services company. So it's all around us, but they never give people like us a chance to really get into this industry.
Mhm.
So that's also what I'm passionate about while we're on this topic. We're always looking for good people, people that like helping people and people that wants to learn about financial literacy. We are offering jobs, and if that's something that may interest you, you can reach out to me and we can get you started right away.
Yes, that's amazing. Definitely reach out to Isaiah. I love how humble you are and how passionate you are. This is obviously a part of our community and contributing to it. Sports is huge in our community, from growing up to it being our backyards before we even see it on any broadcasting platforms. And you're right. A lot of times when we watch any type of sports, whether it's boxing, football, soccer, anything, it's always sponsored or endorsed by something from a financial industry background. But we get more focused on the entertainment versus, maybe we should do a little bit more research on the sponsorships and why, because sports and business really do go hand in hand. So that's something that I think we need to definitely be more mindful about as people. Entertainment is just that, but we are still in the real world. We have responsibilities, we have obligations. We definitely need to be able to learn how to protect one another, let alone ourselves, whether we're parents, not parents, married, not married. All of us have very pivotal and important roles when it comes to understanding how to facilitate in the area of finance, especially when it's connected to the sports industry. So I really love that that's, an area of focus that you really migrate all of the amazing expertise and knowledge and wisdom that you've grown over time to really be intentional about implementing. So I definitely wanted to touch bases on responding to what you said before we gear a little bit, but still kind of keep it in the sports and the financial space as well. So I definitely want to ask you my next question, which is in regards to mental health. That is something that, of course, we talk about a lot here. Professionals, mental health is important. Athletes, mental health is important. So, if you could please share with the audience, what would be your advice in regards to mental health for any athletes or professionals in the sports and financial industries?
I would say talk to somebody. That's the biggest thing. A little bit background about my story. I started my college career off at University of Maine. And I was I'll be honest with you, okay? I like to keep it a buck with everybody. So I was at the whitest school and I was like one of the only black people there. Even on the football team, it was only a couple of us, right? So I would just go in stores, people just stare at me. Going even at some parties, I wouldn't be able to get into some parties because I was black. It was really turning all the black people around. So that was really rough for me, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I was in the right mental headspace to even partake in. We won a championship. We was winning. We made it to the final fours of the FCS playoffs, so we went far. Played against Cooper Cup team, Eastern Washington. And man, it was a great experience. But after football, outside of football, that's when the mental health struggles started to happen. So I remember I would go home for break, didn't want to come back up to school. It was rough, right? And that's when I made the decision that I wanted to transfer from Maine to Hampton University. And throughout that transition, this is before the portal even opened up, right? Now we got the portal. It was me and Justin Fields. We actually entered the portal at the same time. He was going through some mental health things at Georgia when he was transferred to Ohio State. So that whole year transition, it was me and him just particip participating, participating, not participating. but trying to get able to play right away, right? So
Mhm.
we was trying to both play right away. And then the next year, after we put everything in place, that's when the portal opened up. So me and him actually started the transfer portal, and I was able to play right away, but my mental wasn't there yet, right? Now I'm at Hampton University. I'm still getting adjusted, but my mental was still messed up. So I actually had a medical red shirt year that they gave me to actually go talk to a guidance counselor and just take a year off of sports. And I learned so much from that year. Thank God, it's only a blessing because that's when I really understood and got to see, okay, I'm bigger than sports. I'm bigger than my quarterback career. I'm more than just an athlete, you know? And I didn't really realize all of that until I had sports taken away from me. I was still around it because I was still going to practices and different things like that. But now I got to actually live life like a regular student. I'm like, man, like, and I can go on trips. I can stay after, talk to the teachers. I can learn more, right? And you don't get that opportunity as an athlete. So for mental health, just make sure that you have somebody that you can talk to. And it's okay if you have to take a year off. It's okay if you have to disconnect yourself from that sport because if you've been playing around playing the sport since you was fourth to third grade like I have, it can get overwhelming at sometimes. And you can see it affect your play as well. You can see if you're in your head too much, you're not going to produce or be productive the way that you're used to be playing. So I would definitely say make sure that you're in a great mental head space before you do anything. Um, that affects your play. Because at the end of the day, you touched something huge. You are a business, and people don't realize what it is to actually run a business or be a business, right? Because you are your brand, and they don't teach you that really, but they say be your business, your business, your business. Watch how you carry yourself in school. Watch how you do certain things, right? But they don't really teach you how to do that. And just talking about business, the NFL is a nonprofit, right? So people think, oh, the people are bringing in, the athletes are bringing in the money. It's a nonprofit. It's the sponsors that are bringing in the money. They're running it actually like a business. So understanding what a business really takes to be ran and understanding what a business is only going to help your mental health because now you can carry certain situations when you're thinking in that business mindset versus thinking in that player's mindset.
Hmm. Well said. And I love the fact that you focus on what you did because mental health is extremely important. And thank you for sharing all of what you have because definitely as men of color, women of color, minorities, and Black folks, whatever they want to call us, you know, our mental health is extremely important. Um, whether we're athletes, whether we're business owners, whether we're quote unquote everyday people, which we are as well, our mental health is really the foundation of our personal development, which affects our professional success, which affects the community that we are called to fulfill the purpose of improving. So, it's important to be open and honest and transparent with people that over time you can learn to trust and there's a safe place like you said, definitely speak to someone. It could be a therapist, it could be a counselor, having a very healthy circle of people around you. Sometimes it could be family members, sometimes it could be colleagues or at least like-minded people that, there's a such thing as not having the best day. There's a such thing as being challenged in something in business. There's a such thing as feeling overwhelmed as an athlete. These are things that a lot of times we see cry for help, but we focus too much on why didn't he do his best today? And oh man, this person sucks. And it's like you have no idea what's going through this human's mind and how they're maybe not always in the best place to address that. So all of what you touch bases on, and definitely when it comes to business too, that is something that is important because for financial literacy, learning how to operate in business, although there's several diverse ways on how you do that. Having a community around you of other business owners, right? Because you touch something that a lot of people may or may not know. Business, nonprofits, learning how to navigate it and even when it comes to the IRS, for us as business owners, we actually have a lot of advantage when we learn how to utilize it and definitely educate ourselves with the right knowledge, wisdom, information, truth. And yes, nonprofits are very, very important. It has a lot to do with our community. And like you said, the NFL is a nonprofit, it's not a for profit. Even Disney is a nonprofit and not a for-profit. And a lot of nonprofits, like you said, donors, sponsors. There's a lot of contributions, which is why, the cash flow and just the exposure and all of that together works in the favor that it does. So thank you for touching bases on that because us as people of color and just people in general, we need to know these things. So we incorporate more of our community outside of those that are already operating in it, in the nonprofit space, in the for-profit space, and really utilize the advantages that are really here for us to shine through because this is how we also contribute to the community. So all of what you've touched bases so far has been phenomenal because many people don't know this. And, they say the rich, the poor, but it's really more about the mindset of being willing to obtain the knowledge, the wisdom, the information. It's out there. Maybe not always in a place that we can get it, but aligning yourself with people that, whether they're seasoned or they're willing to do the research or willing to experience the experience and the exposure, that is how you have a proper collective in terms of a healthy community to help you grow as an individual. So thank you so much for sharing all of what you have so far. Um, I have roughly about two more questions before um, we conclude our segment. Definitely want to get back into the financial aspect. If there are uh, three key points that you would like to share with the audience in the space of finance, what would that be?
That's a loaded question. I like that question. Key points. I'll say first, understand how money works. The rule of 72, that's huge in the finance world. The rule of 72 is divide 72 by the interest rate, and that's how long it's going to take your money to double. So a lot of times in the bank, it could be they give you a 0.01% interest on your money, right? So if you just let your money sit in the bank, it's going to double every 1,400 years, I believe the number is. So you never really see a return on it. Also in the finance space, invest things that you can't take a loss in. I'm really big on that because even in the 401ks or 403bs, Roth IRAs, you can take a loss in it. And also, so you don't know what the stock market is doing. It's investing your money in the stock market, but it can crash at any second, right? Now we got the president election. Trump just entered the office. We don't know what's going to happen. It could go up and go down. These businesses, as Diddy, uh, closing all these businesses. We don't know what the stock market is going to look like, right? So you're really gambling your money with something that you can't see. So I'll say make sure you invest in something that you can't take a loss in. Also, another thing, build something that's tax-free protected, because a lot of times Uncle Sam is going to want their taxes. But if you put it in certain vehicles and if you move your money around in a way that it should be moved the legal way, I'm not, all this stuff is legal, right? So if you move your money in a legal way and we show people how to do that, those are the three most important things I tell somebody when they're learning about finances.
Well said. Definitely want to highlight the last point. Invest invest in what is not going to harm, but actually expand. Piggybacking a little bit off of what you mentioned with nonprofits, although that's not my 100% expertise, having the blessing of professionals in our ecosystem and community here at the Lady E Effect and just beyond that, from the for-profit side, but specifically nonprofit side, a lot of people don't realize the advantages of that. Taxes are real, but when you properly set up the structure of an organization, it really can be tax exempt legally when you understand the logistics of how to do it and you have knowledgeable and seasoned professionals, let alone a community that teach you how to invest in what's going to amplify your finances and not cripple it. And I think a lot of times in our Black communities, our minority communities, whether it is African Americans, even if it can be like Indians or just other communities that we're not educated fully when it comes to that. Sometimes people say there's like an old school mentality when it comes to money, like whether they don't trust the banks, whatever the case may be. Banks understand money, which is why they're banks and credit unions. So we need to learn how to understand how finances work. And when we properly educate ourselves, we learn that money actually works for us. We're not supposed to work for it. So when we make the proper implementations and kind of sowing a seed into the ground, we're able to reap that harvest where our crops are not thorns. So all of the areas that you touch bases on, I'm sure the audience will definitely, appreciate and enjoy the information. And this is important for us to make this knowledge applicable. The Bible says faith without works is dead. So faith is absolutely necessary, but we have to be actionable. We have to implement what we're learning so it's beyond the results, right? We're not just getting to the finish line, but there's a harvest, there's generations ahead that are depending on us, to lead better examples than even examples that were good that were led for us. And finance is a very important topic, especially in the Black community. I think a lot of times we kind of focus a little bit too much on, um, you know, how much someone's making and all of that, but we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, as you touch bases on with athletes. We get too caught up in the millions and the billions and all of that. But is there a team? Is there a community around them outside of those that you see them play with that, educate them on, hey, let's save this or let's invest this in this, how you put together, how, you have plays and you have strategies when it comes to a team on the field is even more of a necessity when it comes to your finance because your finance help pave the way for you taking care of yourself, your family, your community, even giving to those that are less fortunate. These are, biblical precepts. So definitely when it comes to finance, that's for sure a biblical precept and principles as well. So you really touch bases on a lot. And I'm sure that those that tune in and listen to this on our audio platform will be taking notes. And again, faith without works is dead. So let's make sure that we're actionable, we take action, we execute, and we serve the community and make sure that we're taking care of our mental health as well. So before my last question, you're going to say
Mhm.
something?
Oh yeah, I was just about to say, just to piggyback on that, the Bible also says a good man leaves a inheritance for his children's children, right? So just like you said, understanding that we had generations counting on us, and it all starts with a mindset thing, right? Wealth is really all mindset, and just understanding the right things to put your money in, but it's all a mindset because we really training our minds to unlearn something that's been instilled into us since we was little kids, right? You always heard piggy banks and different things like that. And that never really resonated with me because I'm like, all the money that I'm putting in the bank is just my money, right? But I
Mhm.
want my money to actually be working for me. So,
Yes.
but people are instilled to put it in the piggy bank, and that's why we just keep our money in banks sometimes. So it's really a whole mindset switch. I mean, and it doesn't happen overnight. So give you guys self grace and time to really process everything because it is unlearning a lot of bad habits that we had.
Yes, absolutely. And something that you also touch bases on, which we usually touch bases on too, unlearning. So there's power in learning, and it's even more powerful when you unlearn. Unfortunately, regardless of ethnicity, age, or whatever exposure that us as humans and God's people have had in life, all of us have been exposed to something fabricated, something that is not accurate, something that wasn't 100% truth. And there are people that will base their whole lifestyles around a particular theory versus something that is not or should be accurate and true. So thank you for touching bases on that because it is so important for us to unlearn a lot of things that are honestly really detrimental for our mindsets and our contributions towards ourselves, loved ones, community, and things of that nature. So this has just been a wonderful time speaking with you. I learned just as much as the audience does. And, it's always a pleasure to have amazing guests like you just really share your genuine intention about improving the community. And you make it a necessity to do it every day. And that's not something that everybody will dedicate to. So, my final question for you today is here at the Lady E Effect, of course, we talk about personal development, we talk about business solutions, business success, and of course, community transformation. So, something that we always love to touch bases on is purpose. So, my final question for you today is how would you like to share with the audience the importance of the word purpose to you?
That's a great question. Because for a while I've been trying to find my purpose outside of sports. So that's a great question. And even my fiance, she's trying to find her purpose as well. Now being a transfer, she's a new mother and just understanding her purpose, right? And I think you had to go find your purpose, but I also think your purpose just comes to you, right? And the biggest thing about your purpose is really falling in love with the journey of your purpose once you figure it out. Because even when you do have a purpose, it's not going to be the easiest road. It's going to be bumps and bruises. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs. And it's not always going to look pretty and it's not always going to feel good. But just making sure that you staying on that road and just really fall in love with the journey of your purpose would make sure it will help you follow your purpose because a lot of times people can fall out of love with their purpose and just fall out of love or just not follow their purpose anymore because it can get too hard, it can get too tough, or then they tricking themselves like, okay, maybe this not really for me. But in actuality, God is saying this is for you. It's just going to take some work. So I think purpose is huge, and I think we all been put on this earth for different reasons. And I think we all been put on this earth not to just work for somebody, but to make this earth a better place for the next generation. So I think purpose is huge. And a lot of times they try to take us out of our purpose, especially in the African American community. So it's been designed that way as well for centuries. It's been designed for us not to live our purpose. So I just want everybody to realize and understand that you do have a purpose on this world. Find your passion, find what you're good at, and find your unique ability that you don't have. Mine, I believe, is connecting with people. So I think God put a lot of different challenges and a lot of different things in my life to make me a better connector for the next person. So I really feel like that's one of my purposes, as long as sharing this information, but just understanding, getting the right information and connecting it to the right person. I think that's been God's purpose for me. So just really fall in love with your purpose and everything that comes with it. It comes with it, man. So I think that, and I want to say thank you for having me on this show, and being on the Lady E Effect because people need a platform like this to be talking about certain things that's important and not just all a lot of things that's pushed out there in the social media world that is negative. Because now social media is just becoming another news outlet. So just make sure that you put in good things in your brain and not just putting in junk in your brain. For
Mm.
sure.
Amen. Thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you for sharing all of what you have today. You're absolutely right. We are the people, our superpowers are our expertise. That's God's gift to us. And what we do with that is our gift back to God. And, a lot of times I think we forget the control opposition that takes place. Us operating in media, we understand that, but, we have the ability to apply goodness, to apply grace, to apply love, to apply wisdom, knowledge, understanding, what we were called to do. And it is so important that now more than ever, especially with all the things that's taken place in 2024 and as we are growing more towards 2025 and beyond, we are people, we represent the nation, we represent the body of Christ. There is a calling, anointing, authority, and purpose that was placed on our lives to fulfill. Everybody has their unique part, but we're still part of one amazing story. So we're either going to choose to do good or we can choose to do the other side. And I love the fact that, amazing professionals like yourself are so intentional about connecting people, helping people, giving people the information they need. Truth is the antidote to anything that tries to poison us, right? And you're so intentional about how you do that. And, for those that are tuning in, definitely make it a necessity to reach out to Isaiah. He's a very humble young man, and he's obviously very passionate about just not even just finances, but really helping people succeed and use that as a driving force for peace, for wealth, and beyond stability. We don't need to be in life to survive. I never had the mentality that we were here to survive. We're supposed to thrive. We're supposed to achieve. We're supposed to advance. The Bible said to be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. So this is a part of our ministry work through business and operation. So when we educate ourselves more, we can be able to have a better impact to our communities. So for those that are looking to get in touch with you, how would they get in touch with you?
You can set up a phone consultant at offthefieldfinancial.com, and you can follow my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that off the field TV, OFFDAFIELD TV. And you can reach out to me on those platforms, and also my number is going to be on those platforms as well. So don't hesitate to reach out or DM me. I'll be able to get back to you for sure.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It has been an honor and a pleasure speaking with you, learning all of the amazing things that you do. And congratulations to you and your fiance as well. I wanted to say that as well. Um,
Right.
but yes, you're welcome to come and join us for any future episodes. We love having professionals like you that, especially sports media, entertainment, and many things that we touch bases on. But definitely finance. That's so important for our communities to thrive because it's here for us to do it. We just need to learn how to implement it. So, with that being said, thank you all so much for joining us today. Once again, as you all know, my name is Lady E. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, comment, share. Also, you're welcome to follow us at The Lady E Effect, any of our social media platforms. You can visit our website, theladyeeffect.com, as well as our audio platform. So we'll have all this in the description box. And if anyone is in need of any additional services that we provide in the media digital marketing solutions, be sure to reach out to us either through our calendar link or you can reach out to us on our website. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you until next time. Bye.
All right. That's a great show. You killed it.